cleverly attacked a single leg when Butterbean threw his...
Легендарный Игорь Вовчанчин является одним из самых известных и самых любимых.
In any fight, every pound of muscle and every punch counts, yet time and again, shorter fighters have continued to surprise everyone with technique and the complete conviction that they can beat their bigger opponents. The term small but deadly is clearly on display in these videos. This is clear proof that discipline and strategy can overcome raw power. Here are some moments when small guys take on bigger opponents and defeat them. As we get into it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell to be notified about our new fighting stories. Starting with Igor Vovchanchin, a retired Ukrainian mixed martial artist and kickboxer, renowned for his formidable striking power and significant contributions to the early days of MMA. Nicknamed Ice Cold, he was a dominant force in the heavyweight division during the late 1990s and early 2000s. Vovchanchin, being only 5 feet 8, looked like a small man in a land of giants, but he was still known to knock out giant heavyweights due to his striking power and impressive skills. One of his many victorious fights was in the Pride Fighting Championships against Gary Goodridge. Vovchanchin faced Gary Big Daddy Goodridge, a heavyweight monster towering over him by both size and strength. But once the fight started, it was clear ice-cold fists were indeed sledgehammers. The fight began with Goodridge trying to squeeze Vovchanchin, thinking that because Vovchanchin was smaller, this move would help him control the fight. But Vovchanchin moved around Goodridge's body and managed to take control instead. Even though Goodridge landed a hard shot and bruised Vovchanchin's face, Vovchanchin didn't give up. He wasn't scared of Goodridge's bigger size at all. Vovchanchin had a solid chin, great striking skills, and excellent endurance, which allowed him to survive the early damage and turn the fight around. In fact, Goodridge struggled to grab and control him because Vovchanchin kept moving and defending well. Goodridge was known for his raw power and heavy punches, but he was not very technical with his grappling. After a while, Vovchanchin got tired of the back-and-forth battle. He decided to finish the fight once and for all. He stepped up the pressure, attacked hard, and eventually overwhelmed Goodridge to win. When Vovchanchin decided to end it, he landed heavy punches and combinations, using speed and smart movement to outstrike and overpower the bigger man. I'm sure Goodridge saw his life flashing before his eyes as he got hit on the face. He definitely didn't see that coming. Yup, that punch is no respecter of any man. It will definitely knock you off your feet. Vovchanchin proved that heart, power, and aggression can shrink any size difference in a fight. Goodridge had a major size and strength advantage, but Vovchanchin's strikes were faster and cleaner. He definitely deserved that win. After all, he would not bleed like that and gain nothing in the end. There are other fighters who are small in size but also possess the same abilities as Igor Vovchanchin. They are resilient and very brave, ready to take on any opponent, no matter the size of the opponent. Daiju Takase can also be placed in this category of fighters, as he took on a famous sumo wrestler, Emmanuel Yarbrough. Daiju Takase, a relatively small Japanese fighter trained in MMA, fought against sumo wrestler Emmanuel Yarbrough, who is known to win many of his fights by grappling, squeezing his opponents till they give up. This fight took place at the Pride 3 event in 1998, part of the Pride Fighting Championships in Japan. At that time, Yarbrough weighed about 600 pounds and was 6 feet 8 inches tall. Takase, on the other hand, was much smaller. He was 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed about 170 pounds. Dude was literally 3 times Takase's size, so it was basically a mountain versus a regular dude. At the opening bell, Takase knew he couldn't stand toe-to-toe and trade blows. If Yarbrough caught him, the fight would have been over in seconds. Takase used his speed, darting around the ring, constantly moving, forcing Yarbrough to lumber after him. Yarbrough attempted to grab and crush Takase with his sheer weight, but every time he lunged, Takase slipped away like a ghost. Takase launched rapid attacks, kicks, punches, quick in-and-out strikes. Yarbrough got really riled up because he kept chasing Takase, and he grew tired of the goose chase. They ended round 1 without much action from both parties. In round 2, Yarbrough decided to be the one making the moves this time, and it almost yielded a successful result. He tried to grab Takase twice and even slammed him on the ropes of the ring. but Takase was just too fast for him to pin down. In the third round, Takase decided to take a very bold step by grabbing the giant's leg. Yarbrough, in turn, grabbed his leg so firmly that it became difficult for Takase to escape him. Takase started striking Yarbrough's head with his fists multiple times so that he would let him go, but Yarbrough did not budge. He just made sure he grappled him until Takase eventually gave up, but Takase was persistent too. Finally, after many punches from Takase, Yarbrough started bleeding on the head, and we guess he got tired, so Takase somehow managed to slip out of his arms and got on top. Then he continued pounding Yarbrough with strikes to his head. Daiju Takase defeated Emmanuel Yarbrough via TKO. Takase's size looked like he had no advantage and was massively outsized, yet he didn't panic. He used intelligence, speed, and cardio to outlast and dismantle a giant. It's one of the most legendary David vs. Goliath fights in early MMA history. Talking about a classic David vs. Goliath style battle, a similar fight was that of Raymond vs. Roger. Raymond was the small guy and was much smaller in both height and weight compared to his opponent. Roger was much bigger, heavier, and stronger looking, towering over Raymond in size. This match became famous because it literally looked like a real-life David vs. Goliath situation, a little fighter standing against a giant. This match happened in the Super Fight League event, a professional MMA promotion that often matched unique and exciting bouts. This fight caught a lot of attention because of the crazy size difference between the two fighters. From the start, it was clear that Roger wanted to use his size and power to bully Raymond. Raymond bravely charged forward to try to bring the big guy down, but it was not feasible. Roger, in turn, aggressively slammed Raymond's back, trying to carry him up so he could slam him on the ground, but Roger did not budge. After so much struggling, Raymond eventually got Roger on the ground just where he wanted him. Raymond used his experience in grappling to dominate Roger, and it worked like magic. It was like he was trying to tame a bull. The smaller fighter now controls the fight. Raymond then made sure that Roger got tired enough for him to pull off his signature move. He dragged Roger's arm in between his legs in an uncomfortable way, forcing Roger to tap out very quickly. The referee had to step in as Roger couldn't defend himself anymore. Raymond won the fight, shocking everyone. Raymond didn't have size or power on his side, but he had speed, technique, and heart. He used movement, his ability to endure, and great grappling skills to beat an opponent who was supposed to crush him. This fight showed that even when the odds are against you physically, a smaller, smarter fighter can destroy a bigger, stronger opponent with the right game plan. The match between Jason Solomon and Amitash Chabi will not be overlooked in this case. Jason Solomon is a professional MMA fighter from India, known for his flashy entrances, fast hands, and confident attitude. Amitash Chabi was his opponent at an event under the Super Fight League banner. Amitash Chabi was the bigger, stronger-looking fighter. He appeared bulkier and more physically imposing. Jason Solomon was another fighter who was smaller in size, lighter on his feet, and quicker. When Jason Solomon stepped into the cage against the bigger, stronger Amitash Chabi, most people thought he was walking into a beatdown. Chabi was even trying to intimidate before the match began because he felt so superior. Right from the start, Jason Solomon didn't let the size difference intimidate him. He used his speed and timing to his advantage. As Chabi moved forward aggressively, trying to bully his way to victory, Jason slipped around his attacks, staying calm and composed, moving like a sniper, waiting for the perfect shot. And then, there it was. One clean punch to the jaw, and the giant came crashing down like a sack of bricks. In seconds, it was over. The knockout was quick, brutal, and shocking. The crowd went wild. Jason Solomon won by KO, proving that even if you are the smaller fighter, one good shot can end everything. Jason Solomon wasn't the biggest or most muscular guy, but he had sharper skills, better reflexes, and perfect timing. He didn't let Amitash's size and aggression scare him. Instead, he stayed technical and struck with precision. It showed that in a real fight, brain, speed, and skill can beat raw size and power. Jason was declared the winner, while Amitash was still being checked on by his medical team. I can imagine how embarrassed Amitash would have been. With all his grand entrance and heavy morale, he ended up not lasting seconds. The same story can be said about this guy who felt that because he was bigger in size than this kickboxing coach, he could just defeat him. It is very obvious that this guy had little to no fighting experience because he attacked so poorly. This guy thought by fighting based on the confidence of his body size, he would be able to defeat the kickboxer. He never realized that you can only dominate and win a fight by experience and skills, which he lacked. He was just trying his best to pull the kickboxer down with his so-called strength, but it wasn't working out quite well for him. It didn't take this guy too long to run out of energy, and the kickboxer was able to use this to his advantage. The kickboxer kicked him and punched him on the face twice. At this point, the guy could no longer fight anymore, so he just gave up, removing his gloves so that he would not get hit anymore. The kickboxer had to ask him why. From the way he was trying to catch his breath, he should have already gotten his answer. The kickboxer was very disappointed because the guy didn't even last up to a minute. It's better not to start what you know fully well that cannot finish. Time and time again, we've seen it. In the world of fighting, size isn't everything. Skill, heart, speed, and strategy beat raw size and muscle every time. Whether it's Igor Vovchanchin crushing bigger heavyweights, Daiju Takase outsmarting a human mountain like Yarborough, Raymond choking out a giant, or Jason Solomon knocking down a stronger opponent with one clean shot, these small fighters proved one thing. It's not about who's bigger. It's about who's smarter, faster, and willing to go the extra mile when the going gets tough. So next time you see a fight that looks like a mismatch because of size, remember, the smaller guy might just be the deadliest one in the ring. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell to be notified about our new stories.